After having studied the various factors affecting the rate of corrosion, now our next topic is how to control the corrosion. Now it is for sure that we cannot totally neglect the process of corrosion, but we can only control the extent to which the corrosion takes place. There are two types of corrosion control methods. One, cathodic protection, and second, anodic protection. Now, cathodic protection is possible by two ways. One, by using sacrificial anode or by using impressed current. What do you mean by using sacrificial anode? If suppose zinc and copper are in contact with each other in presence of suitable conducting medium, zinc being anodic, it will act as anode and get corroded according to Nernst theory. And copper being at a lower position is protected from corrosion. But if we have to protect the zinc from the corrosion, we have to make it cathode and then only we can protect it, and therefore the method is known as cathodic protection. How we can convert the more active metal a cathode? Again, there are two methods, either by using sacrificial anode or by using external current. So sacrificial anode means we have to couple the more active metal with another metal which is still higher placed in the electrochemical or galvanic series. So at the cost of this sacrificial anode, we can protect the desired metal. And the method is known as the sacrificial anode cathodic protection. It is a one type of cathodic protection because the metal to be protected is forced to behave like a cathode. So, as I have said, metallic structure to be protected is connected to the anodic metal, and at the cost of that anodic metal, base metal is protected. Now, what is meant by impressed current? By using external current, more active metal which needs to be protected is by converted to a cathode, and then it is protected from corrosion. So in this case, the impressed current is applied in opposite direction to nullify the corrosion current, and the desired metal is protected. So these are the two methods of cathodic protection, either by using sacrificial anode or by using external current. Now we will see the method of using sacrificial anode. Already, as I have stated, we have to protect the desired metal by coupling it with or conducting it with any metal placed above it in the galvanic series. For example, if we have to protect the metal, base metal is iron pipe. So we can protect it either by magnesium, aluminum, zinc, or their alloys, which they will function as sacrificial anode. This is the particular diagram used for their protection. So they are protected, the iron pipe is protected at the cost of sacrificial anode to increase the electrical contact between the base metal and the sacrificial anode. The sacrificial anode is always kept in the backfill. Also, it increases the electrical conductivity or contact between the sacrificial anode and the surrounding environment. So here we will see what are the advantages of this sacrificial anode. It is easy to install, no external electricity or power is required. Anodes can be readily added. Limitations of this method: ineffective in high resistive environment. So if the environment is highly resistive to this method, it will not work. Poorly coated structure may require many anodes. So if the base metal to be protected from the corrosion, it should not have any coating on it. If partial coating is or poor coated structures are there, for them single anode is not sufficient. Then you have to use the multiple anodes. Now, where are the places where it is used? First application, to protect the buried steel pipeline, to protect the hot water tanks, to protect ship hull marine structures from the corrosion, and to protect buried cables, metallic cables from the corrosion. Now we will see some of the examples of the sacrificial anode cathodic protection. Here, the pipelines are routinely protected by coating supplemented with cathodic protection. In case of ships, cathodic protection on ships is often implemented by galvanic anodes attached to the hull or rather than ICCP. Marine structure in which cathodic protection covers many areas, jetties, harbors, offshore structures. Marine sacrificial anodes. 96 kilogram sacrificial aluminum anodes used for the protection of marine pipe pile structure. Here in the second figure, sacrificial magnesium electrode. Ductile municipal water mainly protected from corrosion using tape wrap coating and sacrificial magnesium anodes as shown in the second figure. Now we will see second method by which we can carry out the cathodic protection. Again, I will repeat. Cathodic protection is the method in which the metal to be protected from corrosion is forced to behave like a cathode, either by coupling it with any more active metal placed above it in the galvanic series or by applying external current in the direction which will nullify the corrosion currents. Now, first method we have seen where we have used the sacrificial anode. Now, second method for the cathodic protection is by using the external current. This is again the simple diagram. For the same reason, here the graphite is used as an anode and the iron pipe is the base metal which is protected from the corrosion. Again, we can use here the gypsum to increase the electrical contact between the uh, anode and the surrounding environment and the freshly occurring anode and the structure to be protected. Here, the advantages are large structures can be protected for long time. Second advantage can be applied in high resistive environment. And third application designed for a wide range of voltage and current. Now, what are the limitations? It requires periodic maintenance. So if certain part get corroded, it needs the replacement and therefore the periodic maintenance is necessary. Requires external power. Therefore, it is not economical where there is a scarcity of electricity where we have to buy the electricity or the power. It is not economical. The applications are one, to protect buried oil or gas pipes, marine structures, water tanks, buried cables, etc. These are some of the examples where the impressed current is used to protect the desired metal from the corrosion by using DC current. The vessels, pipelines, and tanks which are used to store or transport liquids can also be protected from corrosion on their internal surface by the use of cathodic protection, as shown. Now, after having studied two types of cathodic protection, we will study what is anodic protection. The method is also known as passivation of metal. We know that according to Nernst theory, when any two metal are in contact with each other in presence of suitable conducting medium or electrolyte, the element placed relatively at a higher position in the galvanic series is more active. It acts as anode and get corroded, whereas the another element placed relatively at a lower position acts as cathode and get protected. In anodic protection, we will make the anode more anodic by increasing the potential to lose the electron at a faster rate, and simultaneously we will provide the electrolytic solution which is rich in the oxygen. So whatever the electrons are given up by the anode, by applying the external current which increases its potential to lose the electron, are accepted by the oxygen atom present in the electrolytic solution. They will form the oxide ion. So metallic ion and oxide ion, they will form the metallic oxide layer on the surface of anode, and they will passivate the metal from the corrosion so that base metal is protected from corrosion. Unlike cathodic protection, we are not protecting the said metal at the cost of some other metal, and therefore it is said to be more useful. But at the same time, there is one limitation over the cathodic protection, that only the metal which can show active passive behavior can be protected by this method. Now this is the typical diagram and the requirement given here. The auxiliary electrode or cathode is there, then potentiostat is there, anode is there, reference electrode is there, metal tank to be protected which will function as anode, and electrolytic solution rich in the oxygen. The advantages of this: complex structures can be protected by this method. It requires low current density or low cost and can be applied to severely corroding medium like concentrated acids. But the limitations are it is applicable only to the metals and alloys which exhibit passivity, which can be passivated, not all the elements from the galvanic series. And second limitation, corrosion is reduced, but it is not reduced to the 0%. Where are the application where this anodic protection is used? Stainless steel containers used for transportation of corrosive chemicals like acids. Then second, chemical reactors or tanks, which are used to store the chemicals. Then third, pipes carrying corrosive chemicals. So these are the various places where we are going to use anodic protection. These are some typical examples of anodic protection. In the circumstances where cathodic protection is not practical, such as in strongly alkaline or acidic environment, anodic protection is a useful corrosion technique. Since long time, anodic protection method is used to store H2SO4 in mild steel stainless steel tanks. Anodic metallic coatings provide better protection to the metal than the cathodic one. Now we will see the differences between the cathodic and anodic protection method. The cathodic protection is applicable to all the metals, whereas anodic protection method is used only to the metals which shows active passive behavior. It is used for the metal protected in less electrical conduction of the environment. So the cathodic protection is used for the metal structures in less electrical conductance of the environment, whereas the anodic protection is used for the metal protective in highly conducting environment. Installation cost of the cathodic protection is less, whereas installation cost of the anodic protection is higher. Here, the operating cost is higher for cathodic protection, whereas operating cost is lower for anodic protection. If system goes out of control, then slower corrosion of the metal. In case of anodic protection, if system goes out of control, quite fast corrosion of the metal which is to be protected. And last point, feasibility cannot be predicted from laboratory experiments. Here, feasibility and design can be predicted by laboratory experiments. So these are the some of the examples of the differences between the anodic and the cathodic protection. Now we will stop for today's lecture here.